Welcome to today's show, Sugar and Cancer, Breaking the Link with Smart Dietary Choices, right here on Supreme Master Television. According to the American Cancer Society, in 2022, approximately 20 million cancer cases were newly diagnosed and 9.7 million people died from the disease worldwide. By 2050, the number of cancer cases is predicted to increase to 35 million based solely on projected population growth. With such alarming statistics, it's only natural to wonder what causes cancer. While there's no single answer, scientists believe it's the result of a complex interaction of many factors: genetics, environment, lifestyle choices, and individual characteristics that together lead to the development of cancer. Today, we'll focus on one such factor: sugar. You may have heard claims like people with cancer shouldn't eat sugar because it fuels cancer growth, or even sugar causes cancer. The connection between sugar and cancer is more complex than it might seem. Both of these statements contain elements of truth, but they are also oversimplified. So, what exactly is sugar? It's more than just the sweet stuff in your coffee. Sugar comes in different forms, from simple to complex. At its core, it's a type of carbohydrate that fuels our bodies with energy. The simplest ones, called monosaccharides, like glucose and fructose, are naturally found in fruits and some vegetables. When two of these simple sugars combine, they form disaccharides like sucrose. That's the table sugar we sprinkle on desserts or stir into drinks. As we go further, multiple sugar molecules combine to form complex carbohydrates, also known as polysaccharides. These long chains of sugar molecules are present in foods like rice, bread, pasta, and potatoes. Unlike simple sugars that are quickly absorbed, complex carbohydrates need to be broken down into simple sugars before our bodies can use them, especially glucose, which is the main fuel for our cells. Whether it comes from a sweet treat or a starchy meal, glucose enters our bloodstream and gives our cells the energy they need to keep us going. From there, it gets converted into ATP or adenosine triphosphate. That's like a rechargeable battery that powers everything in our body, from thinking to moving. Glucose is crucial to every cell's energy needs, whether it's muscle, nerve, or any other cell in the body. When you eat foods high in glucose, like sugary drinks, the body absorbs it quickly. In contrast, starchy fruits like potatoes are broken down by our saliva and enzymes in the digestive system into glucose, ensuring that your cells have the energy they need to perform their specific tasks. But here's where things get interesting. Cancer cells don't use glucose the same way healthy cells do. Basically, cancer is a disease of uncontrolled cell growth, and these rapidly dividing cells need a lot of energy to keep multiplying. That means they take in more glucose than normal cells. This is why some people believe that cutting sugar from our diet could slow down or even stop cancer growth. But is it really that simple? Let's take a closer look. Both healthy cells and cancer cells need glucose to function. So there's no way to cut off sugar from cancer cells without affecting the rest of the body. Moreover, cancer cells don't just rely on sugar. They also use other nutrients like amino acids and fats to grow. Currently, there's limited evidence that cutting out sugar completely lowers the risk of cancer or helps with survival after a diagnosis. Sugar isn't the only thing linked to cancer risk. Other parts of our diet can play a role too. Take alcohol, for example. Drinking has been linked to cancers of the liver, breast, and esophagus, because it can damage DNA and make it harder for the body to repair itself. Then, there are harmful compounds like AGEs, short for advanced glycation end products. These are found in highly processed and grilled foods, and they can trigger inflammation and oxidative stress, which may influence cancer development. Processed and red meats of animal people have also been linked to a higher risk of colorectal cancer, and it has a lot to do with how they are cooked and processed. Grilling or frying at high temperatures creates harmful compounds called heterocyclic amines or HCAs and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons or PAHs, which can damage DNA. Processed animal people meats like bacon, ham, and sausages contain nitrates and nitrites, which may turn into cancer-causing substances in the body. Even the heme iron in the red meat can trigger oxidative stress and inflammation. So eating meat from animal people definitely can substantially raise one's cancer risk. With so many factors linked to cancer risk, and knowing that cancer cells use glucose for energy, you might wonder, why does cutting down on sugar still matter? Well, sugar's impact goes beyond just being fuel for cells. The problem comes when we consume too much sugar, causing our blood sugar to spike and prompting the body to release a lot of insulin. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, where the body doesn't respond to insulin as it should. Insulin resistance is linked to chronic inflammation, which can create a perfect environment for cancer to grow. Plus, insulin-like growth factors or IGFs, which are affected by insulin levels, can promote cell growth, raising the risk of cancer. Insulin resistance doesn't just increase the chances of cancer, it's also a major risk factor in the development of type 2 diabetes. This leads to metabolic imbalances and inflammation, both of which can raise the chances of developing certain cancers. So reducing sugar intake doesn't just help keep blood sugar in check, it also lowers your overall risk of both diabetes and cancer. Excessive sugar consumption is also strongly linked to heart disease. A 2014 study in the Journal of the American Medical Association, or JAMA, Internal Medicine, found that people who consumed 17% to 21% of their daily calories from added sugar, or sugar that food producers add to products, had a 38% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared to those who ate less. While the exact reasons aren't fully understood, excessive sugar seems to tax the liver, causing fat to build up, and eventually leading to fatty liver disease, which is a known risk factor for both diabetes and heart disease. On top of that, eating too much sugar can raise blood pressure and trigger chronic inflammation, both of which damage your heart health. A lot of Western diets are packed with added sugars, often hidden in sugary drinks like soda and fruit-flavored beverages, as well as processed foods like breakfast cereals, cookies, cakes, and candy. But sugar can sneak into less obvious foods too, like soups, bread, cured meats of animal people, and even condiments like ketchup. On average, an adult man in the US eats about 24 teaspoons of added sugar a day. That's an extra 384 calories. This overconsumption is strongly linked to health problems like obesity and metabolic disorders, which are common in the Western world. To manage sugar intake, it's important to know how much is too much. The American Heart Association recommends women limit added sugar to 6 teaspoons or 25 grams a day, and men to 9 teaspoons or 36 grams, about the same as a can of soda. Since added sugars offer little nutritional value and can promote inflammation linked to cancer, it's important to stay on top of how much we are consuming. Start by checking ingredient labels carefully. Sugar can hide under names like glucose, fructose, and sucrose, especially in processed foods and drinks. Choose unsweetened versions of vegan yogurt, milk, and cereals, and don't forget to watch out for condiments like ketchup and salad dressings, which often have added sugar. Cutting back on sugar doesn't mean giving up flavor. Swap sugary drinks for herbal teas or water. You can even infuse your water with fresh fruit for a natural kick. When baking, try using mashed bananas, applesauce, or dates as sweeteners instead of refined sugar. Focus on whole foods like fruits, veggies, legumes, and nuts. They are packed with fiber, antioxidants, and natural sugars that give you steady energy and help fight inflammation. A whole food vegan diet can also keep your blood sugar stable while providing the nutrients your body needs. Plus, vegetable proteins like beans, lentils, and tofu are heart-healthy choices that don't contain cholesterol or saturated fats, supporting your overall well-being. Remember, every positive choice adds up, and your efforts to nourish your body with wholesome vegan foods and healthy habits will pay off in the long run. Wishing you happiness, vitality, and a future filled with good health. Beautiful viewers, thank you for being with us for today's show.